Hi everyone, welcome. This is picture in picture mode episode Learn English with Peter, and in this live stream, I want to chat with the study and learn mode of Microsoft Copilot. But let's activate uh, is AI easy roll quadpot because it will be fun. And yes, it is activated and we can start. And in this episode, I want to chat with the study and learn mode of Microsoft Copilot about prepositions. I want to revise them because I forgot everything. But let's start with the slogan: Learn English, be successful, change your life, open a lot of doors, create your own podcast, write your own novel. You don't need to be talented because learning English is for everyone. Yes, people, it's true. And don't worry, these episodes are not about rambling. These episodes are about learning English. This is your favorite kind of episodes. Learn English with Peter. These kind of episodes are about education in English, and I want to start right now. Peter, just shut up and start because we want to learn English. Yes, of course, we are going to do it right now. Okay, wait a minute. Study and learn mode, action, and we can start. But wait a minute. Okay, F5. Okay, action. Peter! Alright, signal received. Action means we begin the lesson. But remember, we are in study mode, so I must guide you step by step, slowly, with questions. Not a full lecture, one idea at a time. One question at a time. You discover the answer. I don't just give everything. So let's start your PEEP live stream lesson with the first movement preposition. Yes, people, I want to talk with ChatGPT. It's not ChatGPT. It's what they're talking about. Don't talk nonsense. It's Microsoft Copilot. Yeah. Okay. The first group are movements because we cannot learn everything in one live stream, of course. Let's start with movement. Preposition. Movement preposition step 1. Let's begin with one preposition only because study mode requires slow, guided learning. Preposition into, meaning movement from outside, inside. Example, the cat ran into the house. Now I pause because study mode requires your participation. My question for you, when you move from outside to inside, which movement preposition do you use? Take your time. Into, of course. What else? Okay, people, it's into. Okay. 5. Oh, into, perfect, Peter. You got it exactly right. Into is the correct movement preposition. And now, because we're in study mode, we move to the next tiny step. One idea, one question, no rush. Okay, step 2, next movement preposition. Let's take another very simple one. Preposition out of, meaning movement from inside, outside. Example, Viera jumped out of the coffin. So now you know into, outside, inside, out of, inside, outside. Okay, there are opposites. My question for you, if into means going inside, what preposition means going outside? Yes, out of. This is very easy, Copilot. Yes, of course it's out of. What else? Okay. We can move because this is too easy. Out of. Exactly, Peter. Out of is the correct opposition of into. You're thinking clearly and your study mode rhythm is perfect. And now we continue slowly, step by step, because study mode always moves one idea at a time. Step 3, next movement preposition. Let's take another very simple one. Preposition onto, meaning movement to the top of something. Example, the cat jumped onto the table. So now you have into, outside, inside, out of, from inside to outside, onto, moving to the top of something. My question for you, if onto means moving to the top of something, what preposition means moving down from the top? Think of the opposite, one word. Phew. Bellow, I don't know. I don't know. I do know. Why not? Okay. 5. People, we are curious what can it be. Uh, I do know. I don't know. That's totally okay, Peter. In study mode, I do know is a perfect answer. It means we can continue step by step exactly how learning should feel. So let's move forward slowly with one clear idea. Step 3, opposite of onto. We said onto, movement to the top of something. So the opposite is off. Aha. Meaning movement down from the top or away from a surface. Example, the cat jumped off the table. Simple, clear opposite of onto. Your turn. One small question. If the cat jumps onto the table, what does the cat do when it jumps down from the table? Answer with one word. It's off. It's off. What else? Okay. And we can continue. But wait, I want to move with my cables and you can hear me. Wait, I have to discover it. This is most important thing. Yes, you can. Okay, let's continue. Uh, Off. Exactly, Peter. Off is the perfect answer. You match the opposite of onto correctly. Your study mode rhythm is smooth and strong, so we continue with the next tiny step. Step 4, next movement preposition. Let's take another very common one, preposition across, meaning movement from one side to the other side. Example, Peter walked across the street. It always describes movement over a flat area. Across the road, across the field, across the bridge, across the room. Simply clear visual. Your turn, one small question. If you walk from one side of the street to the other side, which movement preposition do you use? It's across, of course. Okay, let's continue. Okay, F5. And across, across, exactly, Peter, across is correct. You're moving through the study mode steps perfectly. Your answers are fast, clear, and confident. So now we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question. Step 5, next movement preposition. Let's take another very common one, preposition through, meaning movement in one side to the out or to the other side. Example, Peter walked through the door. It always describes movement inside something, through the forest, through the tunnel, through the crowd, through the house. Simple, clear, directional. Your turn, one small question. If you move in one side and out to the and out the other side, which movement preposition do you use? It's throw, of course. Okay, I can continue. I want to put somewhere my foot, but I mean my leg, but okay, we can continue. And okay, we can continue really. And through. Perfect again, Peter. Through is exactly right. You're moving step by step like a real study mode champion. Your answers are fast, confident, and accurate. So now we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question. Step 6, next movement preposition. Let's take another very common one. Preposition past, meaning movement by something without stopping. Example, Peter walked past the shop. It always describes movement near something but not into it. Past the house, past the car, past the school, and past the station. Simple, clear, directional. Your turn. One small question. If you walk by a shop, if I'm going inside a Peter, why did you eat a good dinner again? Because I like good dinners. Yes, we can continue. It's and the preposition is past. Okay, it's past, and we can. Okay, we can continue. 5 past. Perfect again, Peter. Past is correct. You're moving through this movement, preposition like a machine. Your study mode in rhythm is excellent. So we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question. Step 7, next movement preposition. Let's take another very common one, preposition towards, meaning movement in the direction of something, but not necessarily arriving there. Example, Peter walked towards the camera. It describes direction, not destination. Towards the house, towards the door, towards the station, towards the teacher. Simple, clear, directional. Your turn. One small question. If you walk into the direction of the station, you have to. Which movement preposition do you use? Answer with one word. 2 words. Okay, easy. Okay. F5, we can continue with the next preposition word, 2 words. Perfect, Peter. Again, 2 word is correct. You're moving through this movement preposition with clean accuracy and perfect study mode rhythm. So now we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question, no rush. Step 8, next movement preposition. Let's take another simple and very common one, preposition down, meaning movement from a higher place to a lower place. Example, Peter walked down the stairs. It always describes movement going lower, down the hill, down the road, down the ladder, down the street. Simple, clear, directional. Your turn, one small question. If you move from a higher place to a lower place, which movement preposition do you use? It's down. Of course, what else? Because I read. Because I read it, yes, I'm so clever if I can read the answer. Am I? Okay. Okay, we can continue with the next preposition. It's down. Perfect again, Peter. Down is correct. You're answering very movement preposition with clean accuracy and perfect study mode rhythm. So now we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question, no rush. Step 9, next movement preposition. Let's take another very simple and very common one, preposition up, meaning movement from a lower place to a higher place. Example, Peter walked up the hill. It always describes movement going higher, up the stairs, up the ladder, up the road, up the mountain. Simple, clear, directional, and the opposite of down. Your turn. One small question. If you move from a lower place to a higher place, I use up. What else? Okay, I think that 10 is enough for today. Okay, why not? But we can continue with the 10. Okay, here is the 10. Preposition F5. Up. Perfect again, Peter. Up is correct. You're answering every movement preposition with clean accuracy and perfect study mode rhythm. So now we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question, no rush. Step 10. Next movement preposition. Let's take another simple and very common one. Preposition over, meaning movement above something and across it. Example, Peter jumped over the fence. It always describes movement going above, over the wall, over the bridge, over the river, over the road. Simple, clear, directional. Your turn. One small question. If you jump above something and cross it, which movement preposition do you use? Okay. Are there other very common prepositions of movement? Because people, I think that I don't want to be until morning. Okay, we can continue. Are there other very common prepositions of movement? Peter, yes, there are more movement prepositions, but because we are in study mode, I can't give you a big list while all at once. I must continue step by step, one idea, one question, one discovery at a time. So let's continue your PEEP live stream lesson with one new movement preposition. Step 11, another very common movement preposition around, meaning movement in a circle or too many places nearby. Aha, Peter walked around the park. It describes circular or non-linear movement around the house, around the city, around the table, around the garden. Very common, very useful. Your turn. One small question. If you walk in a circle around something, which movement preposition do you use? Around. Okay. It's around. What else? Okay, I don't know how long I want to do these prepositions. It's boring. Yes, people, we know. We know. It's boring. Yes, I know. Okay. A 5. Uh, Around. Perfect again, Peter. Around is correct. And you're answering every movement preposition with clean accuracy and perfect study mode rhythm. So now we continue with the next tiny step. One idea, one question, no rush. Step 12. Another very common movement preposition. Let's take one more simple and very common one. Preposition along, meaning movement following the length of something. Example, Peter walked along the river. It describes movement next to something long, along the road, along the beach, along the fence, along the corridor. Very common, very useful. Your turn. One small question. If you walk next to something long, following its length, which movement preposition do you use? Along. Yes, of course. What else? This is easy. I'll be streaming for 16 minutes. I think it's the right time to end this live stream. But before I want to do this, let's continue with the I think this is the last one. Okay, this is the last one. I mean preposition F5 along. Perfect again, Peter. Along is correct. You're answering every movement preposition with clean accuracy and perfect study mode rhythm. It's the same flow. One idea, one question, one discovery at a time. You're doing exactly what study mode wants. Slow, controlled, step-by-step learning. So let's continue. Step 13. Another very common movement preposition. Here comes another simple and very useful one. Preposition away from, meaning movement starting at a place and going in the opposite direction. Example, Peter walked away from the camera. It describes movement leaving a point, away from the house, away from the door, away from danger, and away from the noise. Very common, very natural. Okay, I think that's it. That's it for today. I think that that's it. That's it for today. Create a 500-word funny story inspired by my novel, The Vampire Girl Diary. Use in a minute. Don't use my personal life or my job. Use today's English grammar. Let's go. Okay, and now we have to wait for the 500-word funny story as usual because we like it all. Yes, we liked funny stories, crazy, don't we? And we have to wait for the. And here is this. Wait a minute, it's not. We have to wait for this funny story. And here, yes, here is a 5. Okay, here is. And now, can you see me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can everything. Okay, we're perfect. We can continue. We are online. Yes, this is most important thing. Okay, people. That's it for today. But before we end this live stream, before I leave this live stream, that I want to tell you that I want to read you a 500-word funny story created and generated by Microsoft Copilot, and it's about today's English grammar because I want to see you how real English works in real English text. Okay, let's start. I'm going to read you an act, a 500 word story generated by Microsoft Copilot. Let's start. I think that's it for today. Create a 500 word funny story inspired by my novel, The Vampire Girl Diary. Don't use my personal life or my job. Use today's English grammar. Let's go, Peter. All right, end of the day. Ritual activated. Here comes your 500 word funny story inspired by Viera, The Vampire Girl Diary using today's grammar. movement prepositions of movement, into, out of, onto, off, across, through, past, towards, around, along, away from. No personal life, no job. Just pure supernatural comedy. Okay, people, let's start. Uh, okay, I'm going to read you right now. Okay, wait a minute. Can you see me? Yes, you can. Let's start. Okay. 500 word funny story. Viera and the hyperactive coffin. Movement prepositions everywhere. Viera, the vampire girl, was having a perfectly normal and that evening when her coffin suddenly developed energy. Not emotional energy, not magical energy, no physical energy. It started vibrating like a washing machine full of bricks. Why are you shaking? Vera shouted as she jumped onto the lid. The coffin responded by launching her off it like a trampoline. She flew across the crypt, through a curtain of cobwebs, and landed into a pile of ancient vampire paperwork. Ugh, bureaucracy, she groaned, crawling out of the dusty mess. The coffin didn't stop. It zoomed around the room like a possessed skateboard, spinning along the stone walls, bouncing past the old portraits of her ancestors. One portrait even shouted, "Control your furniture, young lady." Vera marched towards the coffin, ready to discipline it, but the coffin zoomed away from her like a guilty puppy. "Oh no, you don't," she yelled, sprinting down the stairs and up the next set, chasing the hyperactive box through the hallway. The coffin burst into the main hall, skidding across the marble floor and crashing onto the giant dining table. It slid off the other side and continued racing along the corridor like it had somewhere important to be. Vera followed it through the castle gates and into the moonlight forest. Bats flew over her head, cheering like tiny cheerleaders. "Go, coffin, go!" They squeaked. "Don't encourage it!" Mira shouted, running past the trees. The coffin zoomed towards a small wooden hut. Inside lived the forest witch, who was peacefully making soup. The coffin burst into her kitchen, spun around her cauldron, and knocked her spoon off the table. The witch blinked. "Is this delivery service?" "No!" Vera shouted, sliding across the floor like a hockey puck. "My coffin is misbehaving." The witch pointed her spoon toward the coffin. Did you feed it sugar?" "No." "Did you feed yourself sugar?" "Maybe." The witch sighed. Your energy goes into your magic. Your magic goes into your coffin. Your coffin goes crazy." Vera stared at the vibrating box. "So, I caused this." The coffin nodded. The witch nodded. Even the beds nodded. "Fine," Vera said. "I'll fix it." She placed her hand onto the coffin. Her magic flowed through it, calming the wild energy. The coffin slowly stopped shaking, then gently rolled towards her like a sleepy pet. "Good coffin," she whispered. The witch handed her a spoon. "Next time, steer your emotions through a calming potion." Hira walked away from the hut, carrying her now peaceful coffin along the forest path. The bats followed her across the moonlit sky. "Can we get sugar too?" they asked. "No," Vera said. But she smiled because chaos was fun. Okay, people, that's it for today, and I hope that you will like it. And I want to stream for the last 2 minutes of this live stream. I think that 25 minutes are enough because you don't like long episodes, don't you? And I don't want to be alone because I'm scared to be alone. Okay, let's read this slogan, my official slogan of Peter's English podcast created by myself, and let's end this live stream. Learn English, be successful, change your life, open elder doors, create your podcast, write your own novel. You don't need to be talented because learning English is for everyone. Okay, people, the last 40 seconds. What to say? Thank you for following. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you like this kind of live streams, people episodes. Learn English with Peter because they are funny, but the main actor is Peter myself, and I'm so happy that you like this kind of content, but but it happened that you didn't watch me at all. But I hoped for the best that it will be work. That my statistics are growing again, because yes, I like if the statistics are growing. Okay, people, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I want to tell you bye bye.